let me assure you that our priority will remain to ensure stability and security.
In order to ensure the security and continuing stability, security for Canadians.
Galactic Empire!
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
You are listening to The Election Fallout on OppositionRadio.com.
And welcome to episode 20 of Election Fallout, where we've been occupying the internet since May 2nd, or 3rd, I suppose, 2011, when Stephen Harper won his strong, stable dictatorship. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mike Cook from Orillia, Ontario. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing pretty well.
That's good to hear. So Orillia is still there?
Yeah, we're still here. It's covered under snow.
I always take your presence to imply that Orillia is still safe and sound and occupying the map.
Yeah, we're here, and like I said, we're finally covered in some snow. We're getting some winter weather. It is January, though. I guess that's to be expected.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. That's great news. And your summertime is looking bright too. I believe that one Peter Sabrin has just been contracted to help organize a summer festival, a rock and roll festival. Have you been hearing talk of that?
Pardon me?
Have you guys been hearing talk of that festival in Orillia?
I'm not sure which festival you're talking about. I know the two big ones that right now that are running in Orillia in the summertime are the Ride for Sight, and then the second one is the Mariposa Folk Festival. I don't know if this is another one you're talking about.
The Ride one will be Sab. I do.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that's always good, man. Your rock and roll levels just jumped up about 100-fold.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Anyway, so we decided to do our 20th show here and just do another sweeping coverage of current events, etc. And that means no guest once again for us, which is fine, because there's, having taken about 6 weeks off, there's just so much for us to cover. We just want to speed through a whole bunch of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. And one thing that's happening right now as we speak is the Liberal so-called party rebuilding convention.
Yeah, I haven't, unfortunately, I haven't had a lot of time to pay attention to it. I've done a little bit of reading on it. Why don't you give us an overview of what's going on at the Liberal convention?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, this is they're not obviously not choosing a leader. They're making policy decisions and electing a new executive, which is very important in their rebuilding efforts. So if it's in a colloquial sense called the Party Rebuilding Convention, then that's exactly what it is. They're just charting out some, get this, Mike, they're involving their membership in making policy decisions.
Well, that sounds like a good idea. I hope that leaders down the road will listen to what people within their party have to say.
I would hope so. Like, for example, the news earlier this morning indicates that the Liberal Party membership, of those that are in attendance there anyway, have voted to make the legalization of marijuana one of the central party planks of their platform.
Yeah, I read a little bit about that, and apparently it was 77% vote for legalization, I believe.
Yeah. Yes, and I don't know, what do you think of that?
You know, that's a tough one for me. I can stand on both sides of that issue. I know that it would be a great revenue stream for the government.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I don't know how well the government will do at that. I think it might take them some time before they can. I mean, they're essentially they're going to have to incorporate and put out of business a whole bunch of black market dealing that occurs in the country.
That's true. Because that having been said, it's still going to be illegal to traffic. It's just not going to be illegal to possess. So basically, the government is proposing, or the Liberals are proposing, that the government should be taking over that business and taxing it and controlling it and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it sounds like there'd be a lot more work to do than just deciding whether you support the issue or not, because just to unfold that idea will probably take a lot of time.
Yeah.
For instance, will it be sold in convenience stores? What's the age minimum?
Yeah, I don't think they've
the
got.
price?
They clearly have not gone into that level of detail yet, but yeah, those questions will be there to be asked and answered. Myself, at first blush, my reaction is: are they sure they know what they're doing?
Yeah, that's a good question too.
We must note that this is more or less. There's a difference between legalization and decriminalization. Everyone's always been talking about decriminalization, right? But this goes a step further and takes it to legalization. And my first reaction was, wow, do they understand that they have to pull out a NAFTA first? Because it's like, wow. I hope they do. I hope they pull out a NAFTA, because the thing is, the only one we are never able to enforce our rights under NAFTA, and the Americans always hold us to NAFTA. You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure that beyond NAFTA too, with the new security perimeter agreement, and it's it has been presented as something where laws across the board between United States and Canada are supposed to kind of be more matched up.
Yeah.
I don't see legalization matching up with anything that the Americans planning on doing.
Well, and here's the thing: if what they are, as the greater Liberal Party here is, if their intention is, even on a subconscious level, to stick this wedge into NAFTA and use this as the primary, as the starting point for a big NAFTA fight, which could result in us pulling out of NAFTA, I encourage them. I just hope they understand that by legalizing marijuana, they're directly in contradiction of our agreement with the States and Mexico, NAFTA. We can't do this under NAFTA.
Exactly. So that's probably the biggest question.
But I'm all for pulling out of NAFTA, and I'm all for legalization, and I would love to see the government balance their books by taxing marijuana. You know why? Because I know a lot of people that need a safe, secure supply. Man, like, how many people do you know that just move to a town and don't know anybody and go, oh, now I got to figure out who's selling marijuana, and I got to have to go through about 10 dealers before I get decent marijuana.
Yeah, or even a decent person sometimes. I mean, it's not to say that everyone that does that is obviously not a
someone
bad
you want
person,
to deal, someone you want to go over and
visit. You can
visit.
end up with some very streety elements involved in your life that probably wouldn't be there without looking.
That's
at
an excellent point. An excellent point. You need a good supply, a good quality product at a good price, and you want to meet someone that you actually feel good about dealing with. You know what I mean? Because you either have to go into this person's house or that person's coming into your house. Yeah. Either way.
On so many levels too, it affects your own life, and I mean, anybody with a sense of morals must be concerned with how that person operates as well.
Yeah.
So.
And just on, like, even considering some of my friends who use this for medical purposes, this would seem to be a step in the right direction, because what we have right now is medical marijuana rights being constantly subverted by the government of the day here. You know.
The other one too, wouldn't you say that this kind of, I mean, it obviously hasn't, it might have been presented by party members, and the party members may be supporting this, whether or not, like we mentioned earlier, whether or not Liberal politicians will take this as another question. But doesn't it also provide another angle to be attacked by Stephen Harper? I mean, it might only get him...
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the conservative base is not going to go for this, but we're not trying to reach the conservative base at all. I mean, this might be the one, and this is another reason I like it, this could be a sign that the Liberals are actually going to try to commandeer a wedge issue for themselves, you know? As in, be possibly the one party that stands for this, and then let the other, and this will be a voting issue for a lot of people. I'll tell you, I mean, for people that don't know, if I've never mentioned it on the show, my business is I sell water pipes and all other sundry items that relate to the smoking of whatever you want to smoke, right? And so I see this on every level. I deal with people who use medical marijuana because I sell vaporizers so that they don't, if they have lung cancer and they need to smoke marijuana for medical reasons. Obviously, with lung cancer, the smoking part of it is like the medicine you get from it is one thing, but then the smoking part of it does damage to counterbalance the positive elements of the medicine nature of it, right? And
yeah, there's a tar content there for sure.
So I deal with I deal with that level, and I see these people. I mean, their medical marijuana is terrible that they can actually get from the government. So they are forced onto the streets. You know, if you see someone bringing in a bag of shake and seeds, that's their medical marijuana. You know, they get no benefit from that. And then these people go to the streets. You know what I mean? So I deal with it on all levels, and I don't know. It's just. I think I love the fact that the Liberals are willing to commandeer a wedge issue for once.
Yeah, and if even though it's not mentioned, your point on NAFTA, if that was something, whether they've thought about that or not, I'm not sure. But if it was the first, like you say, attack or move towards removing Canada from NAFTA, I don't see how I could oppose that. I'd like to get out of NAFTA as well.
Yeah. Seriously.
What else has been? What else have they been voting on at the Liberal convention?
Well, they have. This is huge because I've never even heard of this before. They have voted to allow supporters of the Liberal Party to vote in their leadership convention. So
without
you don't
joining the party?
Exactly. You just sign your name up, say you're a supporter. Costs you nothing. You don't be a member. You can vote for their leader, and this is a fantastic idea that opens up the Liberal Party to everybody in Canada. You don't necessarily feel like you have to become a Liberal to have a stake in their party, which I think is a fantastic idea. I'd like to talk about that more, and the fact that, well, on the downside of everything that's happening in the Liberal convention right now, they've also voted to support the monarchy, which I don't agree with, but okay, cool. At least they voted and had some public input or membership input into what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's almost a non-issue for me anyways. I mean, I don't...
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a huge monarchy fan, but it doesn't
it's
really
wasteful and
life.
it's ridiculous and all that. But hey, why don't we talk about that a little bit more? I'd like to play a Peter Tosh track that goes along with the recent decision the Liberals made regarding marijuana. And we'll come right back and talk some more about the Liberals.